Morning, guys, and happy Monday. Welcome to episode 17 of the Double L Big Sheet podcast. Hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. I'm just here having my morning coffee before breakfast and work. Got 3 games for you guys today. There's a lot of great action over the weekend. I kind of took the weekend off to concentrate on actually betting it. Made some money this weekend, so it was good. A couple crazy upsets. We're waiting for the new top 25 to come out as we speak. So that should be interesting to see where these teams shake out. A lot of teams made their way up the ladder, and a lot of them went down the ladder with how they did over, the past week and the weekend and everything. So we only got 3 games for you guys today. We're going to kind of poke holes in the few games that we do have, give you some insight on it, and let you go about your day. So our first game is going to be 4 o'clock ESPN, 7 o'clock Eastern. It's the first game of the doubleheader, Big Monday on ESPN. It is Notre Dame at Florida State. Not sure where Florida State's going to be ranked after that blowout loss to North Carolina. They're playing at home. They're a 12.5-point favorite playing Notre Dame. Florida State comes in 21-6, 5th in the ACC. Notre Dame's season is pretty much over, 13-14, and 13th in the ACC. They obviously have to win the ACC tournament to get into the dance. Florida State's going to grab an at-large somewhere. If they don't win the ACC, they're one of the better teams, obviously being ranked 5th. Some trends on this game, we're looking at Florida State sitting at 10-5 at home. They've lost 1 game. That's their streak. 17 or 18-point loss at North Carolina on Saturday, which I bet North Carolina, so boom, props to me, I guess. So Florida State lost North Carolina by 18. They had won a bunch in a row before that, and then they, fell at Chapel Hill on Saturday to a really good North Carolina team who is rolling on all cylinders. Notre Dame has lost a few in a row as well. They're 3-11 on the road this year. They lost to Virginia Tech, they lost to Wake Forest at home, and they lost at Virginia. So they've been struggling to find wins. I'm looking at Florida State scores more, 77 a game, gives up 68. Notre Dame scores 70, gives up 69. So they give up about the same. Florida State just scores more. I don't see Florida State losing this game. I'm not going to lay the 12.5 because it's too much, but I definitely don't see them losing the game. I think they take care of business at home and get back on that winning track and build some momentum going into these last couple of weeks of the regular season, leading into the ACC tournament as well and into the NCAAs. When you look at some key players in this, Thomas Mann is the do-it-all guy for Florida State, but Florida State's got 5 really good athletes that can hoop. Notre Dame's got a few guys, TJ Gibbs, John Mooney, and DJ Harvey, all averaging double figures. They played a little bit of a slower pace. Florida State can kind of play however you want. They're so athletic. Kind of staying off the spread in this, but I definitely don't see Florida State losing the game. So shout out to Bobby if you're looking for a good teaser. I know you get 9 points back there in West Virginia, so maybe tease that down. Florida State should definitely take care of business at home. The second game's ESPN2, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock Eastern time. Oklahoma at Iowa State. Oklahoma comes in 17-10, 8th in the Big 12. Iowa State's 19-8, 5th in the Big 12. This should be an interesting game. Iowa State's laying 9.5 in this game. That's a lot of points. They have played already. Iowa State beat them by 1 at Oklahoma on February. Where the hell's the date? Where's this at? February 4th. So been about 3 weeks since they played last. Rematch here. Oklahoma's coming in a little bit hotter than at Iowa State. Oklahoma's 5-9 on the road. They've won 2 in a row. They won games. They beat Texas on Saturday, and they also won at TCU during the week. And Iowa State, they've lost a couple in a row. They lost at TCU and Baylor last week, so a losing week for Iowa State. They're looking to get back on track. Obviously, they have Mariel Shyok and Horton Tucker and Jacobson and Wigginton. They got a really balanced scoring machine there. Shyok's actually a National Player of the Year candidate. Oklahoma comes in with Christian James, Doolittle, and Brady Manick. So this will be a really good game. It was a great game the first time around. I think 9 points is a lot. I look for it to probably be tighter than that, especially with how Oklahoma's playing right now. They're sitting at 5-9 in conference, so they really have to run the table here and try to get as close to 500 as possible to try to get that at-large berth. This is a huge game. This would be a marquee quad one win for Oklahoma if they can go in here and pull it off. Iowa State obviously is going to play with some momentum as well, given the fact they've lost a couple in a row, and they're trying to solidify their seeding in the NCAAs. They're already in no matter what. I look for it to be a really good game. Oklahoma going in there and winning, doubtful. You never know, but that's a lot of points at 9.5. So kind of take a look at that potentially. Should be a better game than double figures. I mean, Oklahoma should be fighting hard because, like I said, if they win out, they probably got a shot. There's 4 games left in the conference schedule. They win 4 in a row. They'd be 521-10 overall. That probably gets you in the NCAA tournament. Iowa State, obviously, like I said, going to come in very fired up after losing a couple in a row, being at home. It's hard to win up there in Ames. They got a really good home court advantage there. So should be a great game. Tune into that one at 5 o'clock. Third and final game, 6 o'clock ESPN, second part of the doubleheader on Big Monday. We got Kansas State at Kansas. These two teams played already. Kansas State beat them 74-67 up in Manhattan a couple of weeks ago. Now they're playing Kansas. Kansas has not lost at home this year. They're 15-0. They've been battling injuries, so they're counting on Dedrick Lawson and Devon Dotson, their great freshman point guard. They have a guy by the name of Agbaji, who averages 10 a game. He was supposed to redshirt this year, but Bill Self felt it necessary, since all the injuries and everything, to pull the redshirt off him. He's been playing as a true freshman for about 10 games now. He's really good. So those 3 guys kind of steer the ship, so to speak, for the Jayhawks. Kansas State obviously has got Dean Wade, who's a stud, Barry Brown Jr. and Xavier Sneed. So both 3-headed monsters on each side. This should be a really good game. Kansas has not lost at home this year. They're actually coming off a loss as well. They got crushed by Texas Tech on Saturday. Kansas State beat the 2 bottom feeders in the Big 12 their last 2 games, Oklahoma State and at West Virginia, respectively. So, Kansas State's coming in with some momentum. Obviously, both of these teams are going to get to the NCAA tournament, so it's going to be a big game for seeding and everything. Kansas got that streak of 13 straight regular season Big 12 titles, where they've at least won or shared that. They're going to need to win out and need some help to try to accomplish that again. Them being at home, I'm kind of digging them a little bit. Big rivalry game. You look at yesterday's game with Michigan State and Michigan. Michigan State went in there and beat Michigan, who was undefeated at home. I think the Jayhawks take care of business tonight at home. Being undefeated, playing your rival, especially since they lost. This is a big revenge game, and Kansas really needs to get back on the right side here of things, because the more they lose, the more their seed drops. They're going to have a tough draw in the NCAA tournament. So, big game there. Should be a fun one. That's at 6 o'clock ESPN, like I said. We're at 8 minutes. We talked about 3 games. Good luck today. Happy Monday, and finish the month off strong for those of you that are in sales. Let's squeeze as much as we can out of this and finish the month strong. You guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk tomorrow. Later.